maternal side of my family came from here. My grandfather was an architect here, and my mother grew up here. I've lived here on and off all my life. Ellie and I regard Taranaki as our home. It's where we brought our children up, and it's where we've went most of our lives, and we just love the place. I have always had bad eyesight, and unfortunately for me, my eyesight went downhill. I was diagnosed with glaucoma. I now have basically no vision. I've developed all sorts of skills as a blind person. You get better the longer you're blind, of course. Everything that's left to you, you use to replace your eyes. Yogi's not my first guide dog, so I'd learned quite a lot about how to treat guide dogs, and I've had dogs all my life. In front of that fireplace, on that mat, is where I first met Yogi. I just lost a guide dog, and my trainer turned up with Yogi, who had injured his shoulder, and she was assessing him. There was considerable concern that he'd never be able to work again. And I said, I'd love to have a go at keeping this dog. And Sam said, well, look, I'm really not keen for you to take the risk. And she said, well, let's give him a trial. We went for a long walk around Pukekura Park. Yogi, I reckon, knew that this was his chance to escape being retired as a guide dog. We ran the whole way. I came back, sweat pouring off me. Poor old Sam must have been the same. Yogi performed like a champion. It was sort of, there's nothing wrong with me. Look at this, I can go for it. We're going around the park. Yippee! And so I said to Sam, well, there's your answer. Look, he really wants to have a go. At that stage, he was having physiotherapy. They agreed to let me have him on the condition I kept doing the physiotherapy, which I did for about 6 to 9 months. And he just got better and better. And today, there's no sign of any injury whatsoever. I just knew that he'd come right. I don't know how I knew. And we still have a kind of a mental bond that we know things about each other. Or I don't have to say to him, I just know what he's the same. The only problem that I had when we were training him was we decided that we would take him into the supermarket and the warehouse. Yogi has a fetish for these sorts of buildings. Without any instructions, he just takes off. I'm in charge, we're off. You quite often wind up in the dog food section, but he will take direction though. If you decide to tell him to turn left, he'll turn left, but otherwise he'll just cruise along and tow you away. You're hoping we'll buy some. You're a clever dog, aren't you? When he's off his lead and running around, he reverts to puppyhood, and if there's a handy dog to play with, he'll play with them. It's lovely to be aware of. All I get is the occasional flash of yellow just past my feet when he races through. It's incredibly rewarding having a guide dog, actually. It does, in many ways, compensate for going blind, if anything can. In fact, in a way, a guide dog is the perfect thing for me, because I've always wanted to take my dogs wherever I've gone. And now I can.
I live in Puniho, which used to be quite a sizable little settlement and marked on all the maps, but now it's just a patch of deserted jungle out around the coast of Taranaki, and I love it. If I had the choice of living anywhere in the world, I would live right here. Call me a creature of habit, call me too lazy to clean up enough to shift, but I like it here. I've travelled a lot. I love the interest of other places, but this is home, and you can't leave. The mountain calls you back. We're so fortunate here. It's beautiful. There is a beach in Taranaki which is extremely special. It's amazing because there's an old dump which keeps being washed out of the cliff, and every time you go there it's different. And beautiful things just edge out of the cliff after every big sea. Yeah, that's a keeper. I love the texture and tint of things that have age built into them. The richness that you get with old. I fill every available space with junk. It gets a bit difficult to walk in my studio sometimes, but I'm not complaining. I hate motels where everything's bare and empty and clean. I go quite twitchy in spare rooms. A lot of people see me as cheerful and always good for a smile, but every time I make an assemblage, it turns out to be bleak, black, dark. I often use images of death and fear, and to me, they show a beauty, they show a truth, whereas pretty things don't. Cupcakes and flowers and kittens. A lot of things give me real joy. I do like music a lot. Gloomy stuff. Gorski's one that he wrote about the Holocaust, that's terrific. Life is full of small pleasures. Reading a good book, solving mathematical problems which have an innate beauty. I love mathematics. I used to teach, full-time at college, and the senior students, the 17, 18-year-olds, I really respect them, and we did have a lot of fun. And I feel very honoured to be allowed the friendship of young people. That's a delight. Taekwondo is a delight, a source of great happiness to me. All the differences vanish. You are equals with all the people of your own belt, regardless of age, gender, colour. One thing I really like about Taekwondo is the belt colour is what matters. You don't classify them as little boy or old lady. Who cares? Let's see how they kick. Old people are invisible. Nobody sees you. I think our attitudes are such that old people are regarded as perhaps a bit of a nuisance. I'm so fortunate to have found a way of life which allows you to continue to learn and to reach goals, even at this advanced stage. I was 56 when I started. I got my black belt at age 60. I'm 68 now and I'm a fourth dan, and I'm the proudest person in the whole universe. Taekwondo can get you into a bit of trouble sometimes. I was walking across New Plymouth in the dark and a car full of young men screeched to a halt alongside me, leapt out and ran towards me, and I was just going down into a stance. And he thrust a chocolate bar at me and called out, "Random act of kindness," jumped back in the car and they all drove off. He doesn't know how close he was to having his head kicked in. Unlike most grannies, I can defend myself. My current state of mind is happy, determinedly happy. Life it's extremely short. So my favourite saying is dance till they drop you. And, dance while you can.
The Patea Maori Club in 1991. A cousin of mine said, "Come along to practice at the Patea Club rooms." Been there ever since. A few years ago, they were looking for new tutors. Andy and I thought, well, let's give it a go. We just wanted to get in there and just share some of the skills that we had picked up over the years.
My family have been involved with the club for a very long time. I'm usually behind the guitar, controlling things from the back, with my wife's in the front. When I'm performing, I feel really great, remembering all the songs that have been taught to me, and now I'm teaching the next generation. And to carry on the passion for our taonga that have been given to us, to give to other people.
I've been in this group since 1972, and I love coming. I like to be there because they're family and because we're very closely knitted family. You had that lull in the group. The freezing works closed in 1982. People left town and there was no jobs. And it was going, it was marvellous. The town was surviving. It had everything you could ask for. But as soon as it closed, that's when everything went really downhill.
We are drifting on a boat called Patea, and we know that around the corner is a waterfall. Tomorrow we're going to plunge over that waterfall with our family. And God help us.
800 will lose their jobs and Patea will lose its economic lifeblood. The closing of the works could add to the drift of Maori youth to the cities in search of employment. Right now, 2,000 souls are praying for a miracle. The outlook is bleak.
I worked down the works, and then the works closed down. It was very sad, very, very sad. And you had members having to go out of town to work in Waipukaro, Hastings, up in Auckland,
Wellington.
Yes, so they were all over the place.
In early 1980s, the club were fortunate enough to have Dalvanius return from his travels overseas and his working in the music industry.
And he spent a bit of time back home here. And it was probably going through his mind that, no, there's something that I've got to do.
And that's what he came up with the song Poie. His idea was that if he got the Patea Maori Club together, he'd boost the town, and that was his main reason for the song.
He met up with a wonderful songwriter, Moi Pewhairangi, and they put Poie together.
There was a lot of resistance at first.
They sat back and they listened to this upbeat, funky music.
It wasn't even heard of what Dal presented. It wasn't in Māori music, first time. But now they all do it.
As you can imagine, I think a few of them were a bit thinking the song was too out there for them.
I thought it was quite dumb, really, at first. We all thought, oh, this is not going to work. But, you know, Dal and his ways.
You know, Dalvanius was very persistent, so...
Dal is a one-man band and he's got his own mind.
He knew what he
had an ear for music.
Absolutely.
And he made us stand by the piano until we got the notes and the parts right.
It wasn't until we did the record that, yeah, I knew something special was going on then, yes. Came a hit, didn't it?
It was on the New Zealand charts for 22 weeks and then was #1 for 4 weeks.
When the song hit #1, it boosted the group right up. It brought a lot more of our families back and more of the younger ones joined the group.
When I was a kid, I used to watch them from outside the window, I suppose, and I was too shy to ask their names and that if I could join. It sort of gave me more courage, I suppose, to be a part of it.
Everyone wanted to join at that time, and it was really good because a lot of them had moved away. And when Poie came out, it sort of made everyone remember where they actually came from. Patea is where they started.
There are a lot of kapaka clubs throughout the country, but the experiences you get with Patea Maori Club are very different because of Poie, basically. I want to see my kids part of that too.
I love that waiata because when my younger brother was alive, that was his favourite song. And now our son sings it just like his uncle.
For me, I don't think Poie will ever die. I'm never tired of it. Never. Never tired of it, no. For me to get up on stage to perform Poie.
Proud.
It's exciting to perform, and it's nice to be up there looking at people's faces when you're performing. You're standing up there representing Patea. The future of the club is going to be like this from now onwards.
It's growing now, more so than ever.
My young one, he's getting into it. He loves coming to kapaka with me. And myself, took me a little while to get over the shyness, but I feel I'm pretty good now. Yeah, I just feel proud to be part of Patea Maori Club.
We grew up in a beautiful community and will always be a beautiful community to us.
Encouraging each other to be strong, even through the hard times, the bad times.
We survived through that and having hope in Dal and what he could do for us. Dal, he'd be proud of us.
Absolutely.
Patea is a great community. It's a place that a lot of people think that's it doesn't happen, but it does.
There's such delight in things that hold a story. It's a rich life, it really is.
They can't believe the dust thing. Oh my God, they go. But nobody offers to help. you've got this bond, you get this lovely companion. He's brilliant at everything that he does.
Oh, I just love what I do. Everything's good, really.
I'd like to die comfortably with no pain. The most probably easiest way to do that is take the bungs out, drive your boat to the horizon with a bottle of rum.